Scooby-Doo, arguably my favorite cartoon of all time. I remember watching reruns of Scooby-Doo Where Are You as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. I believe that it and What's New Scooby-Doo are the best two versions of the series we've had on TV. That being said, can you name me a show where you absolutely loved every episode? That's why today I will be going over the most forgettable episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? That episode to me is Don't Fool with the Phantom. I often forget this is even an episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? To me, it is a very bland episode. The Wax Phantom is an original touch, but anything else about this episode is just not special. That may be because it's the last episode of Season 2 of Scooby-Doo Where Are You, but I feel like you could put this anywhere and I wouldn't remember it at all. Why is this episode bland and forgettable? It's unoriginal in many ways to me. I feel like some of the plot is reused, that happens in some episodes, but way too many things are repeated here. It's not uncommon for the series to reuse designs and other things, but here it's kind of like I noticed a couple things. Now we need to go over a few things. First things first, the plot. Here's how the story goes. Scooby and the gang are at some weird TV show thing they're doing. Scooby and Shaggy are doing a weird food dance when the Wax Phantom shows up and kidnaps Mr. Stevens, the TV show manager or whatever. Find Johnny, the TV host, in the office tied up and all the money in the safe is missing along with Mr. Stevens. Johnny explains there was a former employee, Mr. Grisby, who did a figurine show, who was fired, threatened the TV station to destroy them with a Wax Phantom. They've also been getting notes signed the Wax Phantom with threats in it. What do? They split up. Daphne and Fred going to the Wax Museum while Scooby, Shaggy, and Velma take a moped to go visit Mr. Grisby. Now remember how I mentioned some episodes are like the others? This is where that comes into play. What episode does this kind of rip off? A Clue for Scooby-Doo. Now much like A Clue for Scooby-Doo, this has a fake out with Mr. Grisby to believe where he is actually the villain and he created everything, but that's not true. Unlike Mrs. Cutler, he is not involved in any way. But you see some key points happen again. Mr. Grisby says that he did it just like Mr. Cutler's wife says he was back from the grave to take revenge. A few other key points happen. Scooby-Doo interacts with a jar of hyena laughs, and here he interacts with a box where a little ghost comes out. This episode, Shaggy interacts with a cauldron of something that he believes to be food, which is not. A clue for Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo accidentally drinks some laundry water, where Mrs. Cutler says, "Excuse me for doing the wash." Albeit a fake out that would have fooled me as a kid, but not now. After this, Shaggy, Scooby, and Velma meet up with Daphne and Fred at the Wax Museum. Chaos ensues, failed trap, funny chase, music. Same old Scooby-Doo formula, right? But that's not the problem. The problem lies in the motives of the Wax Phantom and who he really is. It's revealed that it's Mr. Stevens. And what does Mr. Stevens have to do with anything and why he's doing this? He embezzled a bunch of money that he stole. And where have we seen this before? Creepers, it's the Creeper, where a bank manager steals money and is caught on tape, so he blames it on the Creeper. I would ignore all of this if this character or this episode was memorable, but it's not. It's just bland and cheesy. I'm not saying this character or the episode is the worst, but it's not memorable and it's not a fan favorite. I don't think anybody ever talks about this episode. No callbacks, no fans ever bring it up in topic, nobody ever talks about this, and it's for good reason. It's just not memorable. There was a time where I didn't even know this episode existed until I got a box set with it on it. I remember watching a lot of reruns, and this was never one of those episodes. I've easily gone a different direction. Maybe the guy was a wax figurine person who made wax figurines and used some wax to do bank robbery so no one could recognize him, and all the money was hidden in the Wax Museum and nobody knew about it. Just a cop out on some stolen money from his own business is just crazy. I'm not acting like every episode in the series is great either. There's some that were kind of compared to others, but this is just easily the most forgettable episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? I'm sure I could hit up 5 friends right now and ask them about it and they probably wouldn't be able to tell me anything. This is the last episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You as best I can tell, and it's that for a good reason. Stay tuned as we talk about the most memorable and probably the best in a lot of people's eyes episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You?